What's up, guys? Welcome to the End of the Galaxy podcast. It's me, Michael Gilkison, with my boy Jay Williams. What's going on, Jay? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. Just ready to get into some heavy shit. Ready to beat some motherfuckers down with my boy Eric Blair.
Eric,
go on, Eric.
Baby boo. What's up, guys? I'm back again for another podcast. Up in that ass.
Hell yeah, we're coming up off the last one that we did by Tyga, T-Y-G-I, Tyga, T-Y-G-A, I can't spell. Let's just dive into this. I haven't listened to metal in a long time, and so this was a different listening experience for me. Jay, do you want to tell us a little bit of background about this album?
Yeah, well,
Eternal Enemies?
More along the lines of the band. So Emmure is a band. They're in the heavy, aggressive music kind of genre. They've been labeled so many different things, from deathcore to beatdown to metalcore, all that type of stuff, new metalcore. Very, very, very polarizing band. This is actually their sixth record, Eternal Enemies. They're a very prolific band. They put out a lot of records. It was like a record every year for a while. But anyways, very polarizing band. For two reasons. So for one reason, a lot of heavy music aficionados really kind of turn their nose at the whole idea of, they see it as kind of a lowbrow type of music. It's very breakdown heavy. And for anybody that doesn't know about breakdowns, because I'm sure you'll hear us reference it quite a bit in this podcast, a breakdown is essentially a change in the tempo of a song, typically half-timed. But at the very bottom level,
it sounds like a rap beat.
It's extremely heavy. Usually, typically, not all the time, but it's played with the open notes of a guitar. It's very easy to play. I can't play guitar, but I could probably play guitar in this band. Just gonna say that. So that's it's just open notes. But anyways, so that's one side of why they're polarizing, just because some people love that whole heavy music style thing, and some people absolutely despise it. They think it's, again, like I said, lowbrow. Some bands, they like to give you a taste of a breakdown, like 2 a song or 3 a song or 1 a song. Well, this is like the foundation of the music for Emmure. The other issue why they're so polarizing is because their lead singer, Frankie Palmieri, he's a very interesting individual. He doesn't give, well, as he's said multiple times on this record, he doesn't give a fuck what you think. He also frequently drops the N-word, uses some homophobic slurs every now and then. The music is full of violence and profanity and violence against men, women, and children, and old people and young people. It's just, he's a hateful individual. And just one last little bit of a backstory. The first track on this album, it's untitled, but it gained a lot of criticism, and people had a big problem with it because it was originally called "Bring a Gun to School." So yeah, there you go.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's the backstory. Who's gonna start us off here? Yeah,
well, actually, I'm just curious. I'm not a metal listener. I'm not a big metal head. Eric, I know, is a huge metal fan. Eric, I'm curious about your thoughts about this genre that Emmure is in. Like, what are your thoughts on where Emmure falls, like, within the metal genre?
Oh, man. Well, all right. Emmure, this genre, the breakdown heavy stuff, I love it. But I love it in 2003.
Ooh, yeah, that's such a good. But hang on, let me share something with you.
11 years ago, I listened to "Bury Your Dead" and "On Broken Wings" for the first time, and yeah, I mean, these guys are playing the exact same thing. I mean, it's not. I'm not talking about like kind of like playing off of it. The exact same stuff.
As in, like, plagiarism.
It might as well be.
Well, yeah, it's plagiarism, man.
I mean, there's only so many types of breakdowns you can really play, and
Sure.
I mean, I'll get to this in my review about their progression or from record to record. But I wanted to share this with you guys. So before the podcast, I was kind of showing Eric a little blast from the past. I picked up the first record, the very first CD I ever bought with my own money. I bought it in 1999 when I was in 6th grade. And actually found it on vinyl. It's a legendary album. I'm going to say it's legendary. It's Hatebreed, Satisfaction is the Death of Desire. I'm going to hold up just real quick. But so this record store I bought it from, it has like a little note on the front that kind of tells about the record. It says, "This is one of the best hardcore albums ever made. 20-something minutes of beat-down, heavy hardcore perfection. Ever wonder where all these bands got inspired to play a ton of slam riffs? Buy this now." That's what it said. So this record came out in 97, and that kind of gives you an idea of just how long bands have been doing this. They've been doing it way before that, bands like Integrity and stuff like that.
Sure.
So yeah. But go
ahead. I mean, that's a solid album. I mean, that's got a lot of like older, faster type hardcore punk riffs as well. I think like On Broken Wings and Bury Your Dead were kind of the first to basically make it all break down, all that chugga 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 chin 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 chin, like that kind of stuff. Yeah, and then, I mean, yeah, there's only so many that you can do, like you said, Jay. And these guys are still trying to do the same thing after like 11 or 12 years, fucking maybe 15 years. It's a stretch, but we'll see. We'll critique it here in a second and see if they succeeded in doing it or not.
Yeah. All right, so Michael, who's going to start our review process here?
Well, I'll go ahead and go first since I'm probably the least knowledgeable in this area. I don't listen to a lot of metal at all. I haven't listened to Bury Your Dead. Maybe if I heard a song, I would. Back in the day, because of Jay, I listened to like As I Lay Dying. Let me see, Haste a Day, and I saw these bands live too. Really, that's the most metal that pops out of my head. But as soon as this just opens, like Untitled, the first song, it's just a fucking kick in the mouth. And I say fucking kick in the mouth. I choose my words very wisely because that's what it is. It's just like, bam, just hits you hard from the very beginning. And, man, like, it just hits hard, the first 3 songs. And
Michael, can I ask you a question? Michael, do you think that it hits hard?
I think it fucking hits hard.
Oh, God.
Well, it's actually interestingly enough, and I just kind of want to throw this in real quick, but this record was produced by a guy named Joey Sturgis, who was very prominent probably in the last maybe around 2005 or so, became really big around this genre of music. It's actually a really, really good producer, and I think this record is well produced. I'm not trying to hijack your review, but one thing about that first song is kind of how it comes in. It's like opens with this weird noise, and then you hear like a 911 call. Do you remember hearing that?
Yeah.
There's like a 911 call about some kid like shooting himself, like, which is fucked up. And then it just, you hear the guitars in the background goes dun 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 dun, and then it just fucking comes in. He's like, what does he say? Get it through your fucking head.
All your fucking friends are dead or something like that.
Yeah.
It's stupid. I mean, I can understand songs, man. I can understand songs about like saying something about a school shooting. I'm not that insensitive to it, man. Like, sure, I'm not sure if you can be graphic, but if you got like something to say about it, because it's obviously shitty. It is like objectively shitty that this happens. The you can only support or glorify a school shooting if you are like literally psychotic or the sociopath, which I don't think this singer is. I think he's just in it for the controversy. I think he just 100%. Like he just gets off on stepping people's heads. It's some weak ass shit, and I know people like that. He's no different than a fucking bunch of jack-offs that I know down the street that do the same thing for fucking shit. I don't give a fuck.
And he's aware of that. He's aware of that because there are many songs on here that reference that fact.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Anyway.
Continue, Michael.
Yeah.
See what the rest you have to say.
No, but I mean, I feel like in that regard of him just saying stuff for shock factor, Eminem in his interview with Rolling Stone, he just straight up said, he's like, back in the day, I was just saying stuff to get responses and shock factor for people. So, I think that's true with this. Man, overall, like every song hits hard and the lyrics are violent and, there's a lot of shock factor to it. For me personally, listening to this, it was good to have some metal. I think I just love, metal and workout music and, just flexing your muscles and just, just ripping your shirt off type stuff. No homo. But, I love
this. Even if
this.
it were homo, it'd be all right, dog.
That's right. It is all right. We're in the Bay Area. Stuff goes. Stuff flies here. It hits really hard. That's basically what I have to say. The ones that stick out for me are the first album or the first song, Untitled. Rat King sticks out to me. And then Girls Don't Like Boys. Girls Like 40s and Blunts. That song sticks out to me. It just hits hard. And even the slow songs, I even like the slow songs on there. I can't remember what they were, but I thought it was interesting, just the change in pace of it all. But what else? That's really all I have to say. It hits hard. The lyrics are violent. Musically, I like it a lot. I like what they're doing musically. For me, a non-metalhead that's not coming anywhere from where Eric and Jaye are as experts. I give this album a B.
Oh, damn! No, seriously. You obviously heard something from this genre for the first time to think that this is like pretty good because you just haven't been exposed to. I'm not joking you. There's probably 30 bands here in Lexington, Kentucky that are playing the same shit. No joke. If there are 30 bands in Lexington, that means there's like probably 5 in every little shit town around Lexington, which adds up to about 70 in this region. Multiply that by however many cities there are here in the United States, equal or greater than the size of Lexington. Tens of thousands of bands doing the same thing, man. Oh,
I think that's why. I think that's one of the reasons. This was kind of more of a case study on my behalf for Michael, just to see how somebody who has never, has not been exposed to this music. Because Eric is 100% on point, and that's what I was touching on with the whole idea of it being lowbrow. It's because it's actually extremely easy music to play. It's really easy music to write. But for Michael's sake, this is a big band. This is a band. They sell, like, they're on the Billboard chart, so like in the top 20 of the Billboard charts, and that's kind of my thing. I wanted to see what somebody like Michael, who wasn't exposed, to see if there really is this first time listener thing, maybe this crossover value. One question I have for Michael, from just being a rap head, he brings some kind of interesting flows, if you would, to his to the way he presents his lyrics and whatnot, as Eric chokes in the background. That's okay.
Sorry.
What did you, Michael? Did you kind of get any vibe? Like, what did you feel about his delivery? This dude's delivery on the record at all?
Man, he's definitely confident for sure.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know, man. I like the breakdowns and I like how he delivered it. Not too much screaming. I like the lower register bass screaming. Yeah. I really like that. I feel like if it's just straight up screaming and that kind of mid register, because you've got like high screaming, mid, and then low. I like that low register screaming. I think it really fits in with the bass, and it kind of complements the guitar solos, the higher voices of the guitars and things like that. So to get back to your question, I thought the delivery was good.
He definitely uses some spoken word to throw in there too. Typically, what their kind of recipe is before the big breakdown, he'll say something spoken word just so you can understand what he's saying, and then he'll go and scream it 500 times. So that's more impactful, I suppose. But cool. So
yeah, well, there's something about the delivery that I notice as well, and it's when he does the spoken word, which his voice sounds stupid. Like he's like, "You fucking coward! Why don't you hate yourself?" or something like that. There's one part though where he does. I mean, all he's doing, it's a basic poetic form. It's a trochee. It's a trochaic meter is what you would call it. And I think there's a lyric. Oh, here, I got it right here. It says, it's like, talk to someone who's so weak and so spineless. Remember, without me, your life doesn't mean shit. It's like, oh God, okay, thanks for taking me back to the Horatian odes, from ancient Greek and Rome. I mean, you're not giving anything new at all, man, and your lyrics suck.
It's actually quite a again with the whole lowbrow thing. I mean, basically, so what happened in the songwriting room when they were writing the song, they wrote the song, and there was this kick part where it was like he was doing the da 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 da, and all he did was just followed the rhythm.
Yeah,
he didn't do anything about. Well, yeah, it's completely lazy. Like in Eminem's case, if Eminem would have heard something like that, he would have hit every down note. But he also would
be doing other shit.
Exactly. He would on the up. He would throw in
every fourth note or something like that.
Every fourth note he would throw. He would multiply, divide. Yeah, it would.
No, let's just be honest. If it was Eminem, he would be hitting 16th notes in there, and he would be doing rhyme within a rhyme within a rhyme.
Yeah. And I don't want this
together, and not just saying like, "Oh, my face is bleeding," or
I don't want to gloss over this, like heavy music in general. There's obviously bands that do this very well. Bands like Dillinger Escape Plan are insanely technical. I mean, trying to figure out their time signatures in song will make your fucking head explode. But this type of stuff, again, just trying to reiterate, I suppose, just seen as lowbrow, and yeah. Anyways, but Michael, I'm glad that you liked it.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, that's good.
I didn't want I don't want to bash the album that much. I mean, I do, but
go for it. Let it out. It
is what I want to do, right? It's what I want to do, but come on. Okay, there are some, I guess, decent points. Like I thought, I think it's the fifth track, A Gift, a Curse, right? Yeah, A Gift, a Curse. It got a little bit more reasonable. All the other previous 4 tracks before this 5th track were just everybody fucking makes me sick and fuck you piece of scumbag shit. Okay? Seriously, the words don't amount to any more than that. However, on the 5th track, it got a little bit more personal. It wasn't just like me against the world. It was more like, all right, there's somebody that's done me wrong or something like that, or I have like some kind of a beef. Everything is about a beef, which makes me wonder, how old are these guys? Legitimate question. Jay, how old are they?
Well, you just put me on the spot, but I don't know for a fact, but I'm willing to guess they're in the closer to their 30s or closer to their.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Considering that they've been making music since 2003, probably when they were in their early 20s or late, teens. 2003 was 10 years ago. So.
Wow. See, I mean, if you would have told me that a 13-year-old person wrote these lyrics, I would believe it. Here's the thing. This is the first album that you guys told me you guys were going to do this. I started listening to it. And, I was in this public facility, a literary center, and I'm in this big room all by myself. And I'm like, well, okay, I can have some peace and quiet. And then I start listening to it, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I read the lyrics along the untitled track about school shooting or whatever. And then I swear to God, I shit you not, the first note that I make here was, I have a little star here, and I say, was embarrassed that someone would come in and hear me listening. After 3 songs, people did start to come in, and they had like a little class or whatever. I had to turn it off, and then I just went and read the lyrics. After reading all the lyrics, I'm like, this is horrible. I didn't listen to the music. I listened to the lyrics. I read the lyrics. Right. I'm about 5 glasses of wine deep. So, excuse me.
Winding down, eh?
No. Anyway.
Emmure is a great wine album, just for the record. It's a great album to listen to. while you're drinking.
God. Okay, one thing that I like to do. Anyway, I went back and listened to the music. I thought it might save it a little bit. Maybe. The music's a little bit better than the lyrics. But what I was going to say is one thing that I like to do with like a type of an album that I listen to, a certain genre or wwhatever, is compare it to a drug. I like to compare it to, like I listen to A$AP Rocky. I'm like, acid trip. Okay. So, I listen to, I don't know, whatever. I have a drug that I can relate to with a certain album. This one, I don't know, man. I have no idea. Do you guys have like? I
one.
I know you guys don't do drugs, but is there something from what you've read that you could relate it to this album?
Marlboro Light, or I'm sorry, Marlboro Reds. Marlboro Reds.
Marlboro.
Really hard hit. It's like really hard hit, but old. It's been done before, and all the lame people are smoking them. You know.
Oh no! I've got a comparison based on what you guys have said. Fireball whiskey. Fireball whiskey, because
all the douchebags drink.
Yeah, basically.
Well, because I'm out here and, I'm in wine country up here in Northern California, and I'm just like, bourbon, guys. Bourbon is so good. Let me tell you about the art of bourbon and the making bourbon. And everybody's just like, well, I just drink Fireball whiskey. I'm like, no, you don't have any idea of how many better whiskeys are out there. But not only just whiskey's bourbon. So that's my little rant.
Yeah, I don't know. So you would compare it to Fireball? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Fireball, where it's like, oh, let's put a bunch of cinnamon in here in this whiskey, which that's not supposed to be what it tastes like. And then, like, drinking it heavy, because whiskey's strong, it's got an edge to it. And it kind of puts you in a violent mood if you drink a lot of it all at once. So.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This album just isn't even cool enough to compare to drugs, man. To be honest. I mean, it's that bad. It's honestly, I swear to God, I'm not this critical, negatively critical of music. I mean, even like an attempt gets me some kind of respect. But I mean, I feel like these guys probably aren't even like really trying.
Well, from the fact that they've put out so many records in such a short amount of time, it's pretty telling in and of itself.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, and it's a sad state of affairs, man, that Victory Records is going through right now, because Victory is the record label that put this album out. Used to be awesome, man. Earlier today, I was listening to Refused. Refused was great, man. Great stuff. Integrity, which you mentioned earlier. Amazing. Like they did a reunion show several years ago, and I got to see that up in Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. Awesome. I loved it.
Thursday's record, that the one with, I forget what it's called, Full Collapse. Understanding a Car Crash.
Full Collapse is the name of the album. Full Collapse.
Yeah.
Boys Heads Fire was on this record label, man. I mean, such good bands, and now there's Emmure, and then like, and they had Bury Your Dead when Bury Your Dead started to get shitty. They still may be on there.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a bunch of list of bands that I'm like, I don't even know who these bands are. And some of them I did recognize, but I knew they sucked. It's just gone to hell. And the thing is, here's what they play off of, man. They play off of kids who get to a certain age that are like, Michael, your metal age is about 15.
Good point.
You are. And that's the thing, is like they have taken these 15 and 16-year-old kids who are first like getting to listen to music for the first time, that isn't like their parents' music in the car or whatever. They get these albums and they think it's like hard as shit. They have to get a rookie music listener in order to appreciate it. That's what they go for, and that's the only reason that Emmure is on any kind of charts or whatever, or has achieved any sort of success. It's not up on their own merit. It's just based upon fucking idiots.
So let me paint a picture for you. Imagine like a middle school angsty snot-nosed kid picking up this Emmure record and just reading this lyrics. I'm just going to read you the chorus.
Okay.
Nemesis. No, I don't care what they want. I'll never be what you want me to be. Don't give a fuck what you think. Just get the fuck away from me.
That's hilarious when you read it that way.
That's what
It's a
he's
whole
saying.
record. It's a whole
The
record.
only saving grace, man, the only saving grace is that you can't understand the lyrics. You can't understand about 85% of what he's saying because it's just you can't fucking understand it. That's the only thing. Like I imagine like if this were like a folk country song where he's just playing like 4-chord pattern and he's just like and he's saying these things. What did you just say? What was your lyrics? This is what I'm all about. No regrets, no fucking doubts. So you better watch your fucking mouth before I put you on the fucking ground. It would just sound ridiculous and retarded.
Hank the Third album.
Yeah. Well, but God, I like Hank the Third, for the most part. Oh, shut up, Jay. Oh, come on.
But
no, I'm not laughing at you because you like Hank the Third. I'm laughing because I could see it in your eyes. You're like, well, those are kind of like his lyrics, but that's okay because I like Hank the Third.
But they're not that bad. Come on.
No, I'm just kidding.
Hank will tell a story. This guy is just like, fuck you. I'll punch you. You're motherfucking faggot. He says that he's homophobic. He says like racist terms. It's just ridiculous, man. It's
So what's your final grade before I give my review when we wrap things up?
Well, mine?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, when I read through those lyrics, because I was so embarrassed to have it on while those other people were in, I gave it an F. And then I went back and read the music, and there's that last track was an apology, but it's at the very end, and I'm like, we talked about the Tyga album, how it had like an apology halfway through the album, and it's kind of like, okay, I forgive you, I'll keep listening. Well, this one, the apology is to the end. Waited to the end. If this is what he's so mad about, because he talks about people and like not accepting him and stuff, as well, it's because you've been a dick for so long, and then you try to wait till the last minute for an apology or try to make it all up. I mean, of course, that's what's going to happen. Nobody's going to buy it. And so after listening to the music, I gave it an F-. I thought it was fucking shitty as hell. Seriously, whatever. Congratulations to those guys for like triumphing on the idiocy of people. But come on, this is what exploiters do. I mean, they have that mentality. They really could be that. They love power and violence and exploiting people for how dumb they are and not trying to help those dumb people to be less dumb, which I think, people should do, seriously. So there's nothing redeeming about Emmure, this album, or probably any previous album. Honestly, I hope that they overcome how dumb they are. I really do. I would never confront them. I would never want violence. I would never, I know there's one hilarious lyric, though, in this album.
They might hear this, though, Eric.
Right, yeah, I know. Oh, there's one hilarious lyric.
I thought you were, like, pulling out a gun or something. Oh, you didn't come to my house. Oh, they didn't come.
There's one. Hang on. Oh, my God. Where is this lyric I got here? Well, I can't remember, but it says somebody apparently has been talking shit about them. Okay.
Oh, imagine that.
Go figure, right? Well, then he goes on, this Frankie Palmieri singer guy. He goes on to say, you're lucky that I have too much to lose, or I'd kick your ass. I mean, that's like one of the lyrics. That's what it boils down to. It's like, and then in the next song, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna fucking punch you." It's like, but I thought you had too much to lose, dog. What's going on? What's going on?
Which one is it?
It's like, it's some weak ass shit. Contradictions, stupid, 12, 13-year-old, bullshit. I'm a fucking meathead. I'll beat you up in the fucking playground, bullshit. Like the scene, like the hardcore scene even matters. Like, so dumb. You contribute nothing, hardly.
Man, I'm glad I went first to review this because, like, when you were mentioning the lyrics, you're like, the redeeming factor was that I couldn't understand them. Yeah. I don't think you have to understand them in metal. Like, I just like the aggression from it. I guess that's my metal age at 15, though. But I'm glad I didn't understand it after going back and reading
seriously, everybody's better off for not being able to understand most of it. Because, you can get down the song E, for example. Like, I thought that was pretty cool. I thought this was like, if there was like a metal like club, dance club, this would be something that you would play and like get down,
get up.
Because he's like, get up, bounce, and all this stuff, and I'm like, all right, I can get down with that, man.
But that's not quite an apology for you?
Is that not no, I mean, that's not an apology. It's just like you did something like 25% of the way decent. You know?
It's like him saying, it's like, I know you've been hearing me bitch and complain this whole record, and I'm going to keep doing that, but right now I'm going to go to this club and get beer. So this is what that sounds like, and then I'm going to come back and keep doing some bitching.
Yeah. It's ridiculous, man. Oh, dude, I was looking on I looked for the individual track of that on YouTube, and then of E, and I looked for some comments. I took a couple of comments. Could I read you these comments that are on YouTube? Okay. Here's a quote by a fan. This one's not that funny at all. It just is, it's all exclamation and caps and stuff. It says, this song and band is sublime. God, sublime is not the word that I would use to characterize this band. And then it goes on to say, fuck Emmure haters. Caps, all caps and exclamation point. Ridiculous. All right. Anyway, but then there's a quote by a hater, right? And this hater, I thought it was really funny. It said, Seven Dust called. Apparently, you didn't ask permission to use this riff. But that
I actually have a note about that in my review. But
about how they're so similar to Seven Dust.
There's a song that is straight up a Seven Dust ripoff. I couldn't remember if it was a song or not, but
it was E, I think. I'm pretty sure it was. And then there's another quote by a fan. This fan says, "Fuck all you pussy haters." Listen to, I love this part. Emmure kicks fucking. Emmure kicks fucking, period. And then it says, oh yeah, one more thing. That energy and time you wasted bitching and complaining about excellent music by an excellent band could have been spent blowing me. What? Oh my God. And then the last one by one of the haters is, I like this one. And this is kind of, what we talked about, I guess.
Wait, I'm sorry. That was just, you have to admit, that was quite a turn. That energy that you spent could have been spent blowing me.
Yeah.
That was awesome turn.
Michael will use that in real life, I guarantee
you. I will, yeah.
I can see him. Some girl that texts him back, well, the time that you could have been texting back, blowing me. He hits the double shift button on his phone. All caps, blowing me.
You guys want to hear one last quote?
No. Keep reading those, please.
Okay. This is the last one I got. This is the last one. It's by a hater. It's a quote by a hater. It says they call it E, the song E, because that's the only string they use. But
that's true. That's the truth.
It's totally true. It's just no, none of this. Just this. No. Dun, dun, dun. And they even wrote in the rim shot, which I thought was awesome. I love a good rim shot. Or rim job, even.
Which is more fitting for this album, according to you connoisseurs.
I'd rather give
I haven't even given my review yet.
Of rim jobs.
What's that, Eric?
That I'd rather give a fortnight's worth of rim jobs than listen to this album one more time.
Wow. And a fortnight is 2 weeks, I learned from being in Australia.
Yeah, you're British.
Yeah.
Anywho, shit. I think I'm exhausted myself. Let me see. Let me see if I got some other general thoughts here. Let me see if
those comments were hilarious.
Yeah, I think I pretty much talked about all this stuff. The only other thing was just how I think he thinks he's a rapper sometimes because he mentions like the game, like in this game, and what the deathcore game. Come on, dude, that's no fucking game. There's like nobody in that game, man. It's not even a real game. It's like golf. There's nobody playing at the same time. It's just horrible. And he calls like himself the realist. Like, I'm the realist. And I'm like, well, no, you know what? I am a realist, and I think you should have opted for a different genre of music because you're speaking the wrong language for your genre. Yeah.
Good
Wow.
call.
But you know what? What can you expect? He's dumb. So
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
The
Fucking
guy's making money. The guy's making money. He's putting the money
I
out
guess
there
so,
selling
man.
records.
Good for him for making his $70,000 a year, and making himself look stupid at the same time, I'd rather make like zero and look intelligent and have some fucking dignity and pride than make $1 million and look like a fucking jackass. God. I mean, I'm not bullshitting you either. I mean,
Eric does know this genre very well. Eric and Jay. I just learned a little bit from an offshoot of that, so. At least when I listen to As I Lay Dying, they would do like hella awesome guitar solos of just like shredding, of where you could know nothing about guitar solos, but they're just shredding, and you're just like, the musicianship of this is spectacular. So I mean, I get where you guys are coming from now. I really do.
Yeah, I can get down with some As I Lay Dying, a little bit. Even though I think one of their guitarists recently got in some trouble. Is that correct?
The singer he's in jail because he plotted to kill his wife. His ex-wife.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's like the real deal. And he's from that's a Christian metal band. This guy, Frankie Palmieri, is in like a very, supposedly psychotic band. And I mean, he's not trying to kill anybody, really. He hasn't gone to prison, so he's not legit in my fucking book.
It's true.
Hey, man, the Christians killed a lot of people back in the day.
It's true.
That's true. So did the Muslims, man, and the Jews.
We're just a violent race of people.
And the Hindus, and every religion.
I don't think the Buddhists.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked into it enough, but they try to make you turn off your mind and not think so much. So that sucks. You got to think.
Yeah, I thank you both for reviewing this album and making me a 17-year-old metal.
I haven't reviewed the album yet.
You haven't? I thought you did.
No. I just floated in on what Eric was saying.
Well, go ahead. Yeah, throw us some fucking thoughts, dog.
Yeah. Well, it pretty much hit most of the points. I guess most of the thing that I wanted to kind of talk about was I did not like this band ever since they started. Like I was in a like a technical like metal band that played in other time signatures outside of 4/4 and 3/4, so this was just horseshit to me. But eventually I had a buddy that really liked this band, and we would listen to it while we would play NBA live. And I was like, this is okay. I can get into this. But six records deep is a lot to take of the same stuff. So the redeeming factor is I think the production on this record is actually really, really good. Like, I mean, and the producer has nothing to do with what the band's writing. I mean, he's just trying to shine a piece of shit. You know what I mean? He's just trying to turn it into a diamond. I mean, it is really, 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 really fucking heavy. I mean, they do the producer on this record. I think he adds some kind of neat stuff in terms of like, I mean, you've got these deep down-tuned guitars and same thing of this dude screaming. He'll add some textures underneath, like some weird dissonant sounds, this and that. So I think that's kind of neat. But so from the first song, I was kind of like, yeah, this is heavy. I can dig this. Just omitting lyrics, just not even thinking about lyrics right now. Just wanting to listen to the heaviness. But song 2 comes in, still kind of feeling it. But here's the thing: this is 15 songs. 15 songs of the same shit, of just breakdown after breakdown after breakdown, after him talking countlessly over and over and over again, talking about, bitch, come at me, dog, I'm gonna fight you today. But no, you better get away from me. Like, do you want me to get away from you, or do you want me to come at you? Because I'm really confused. I don't know what you want me to do. The song E, I hate that song. I can't stand it. I do not like it in songs when I'm being given instructions. I'm going to be listening to this song over and over and over again, and you're wanting me to get up. I'm at work right now. I'm working. I'm doing work, I don't want to get up. Okay, I'm not in the club. If you want to play this song live and do this, it's great. But right now, I'm not there. But this song E completely ripped off a Seven Dust song. Like sometimes people say stuff like, "Oh, that song sounds like this song," and it's like I can kind of hear that. No, this is the same song. It's literally the same song as the song "Waffle" by Seven Dust, a very famous Seven Dust song. The chorus of the song, it goes dun 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 dun, dun. And that's the same song. It's the same song. But
even the same note.
Well, the note is an open E or an A or whatever tune they play, and it's just dun 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 dun. It's the same thing. So that's pretty offensive.
Wow.
And then there are some songs I can kind of get behind where I do see some progressions from their old stuff, but with Emmure, the progressions from album to album is like, okay, so imagine you're a child and you're in art class, and in the first art class they hand you a pen and they're like, well, you can use this pen to draw, and that whole year you just know that you're supposed to use a pen, you don't use it. Next year they say you're supposed to actually write on the paper, so you're just scribbling on the paper the next year. And then the third year they tell you, well, now you can make shapes, and then the next year after that it's colors. It's like the most minute progression on each record. The last CD they put out,
that's a very good illustration.
Well, the last CD they put out, my favorite record from them is this one called Speaker of the Dead. It's just all out relentless heaviness, and they have here's the thing about Emmure. Their lyrics, when they're trying to be serious, talking about I'm going to fight you, I'm going to punch you, I'm going to kick you, I'm going to do all this other stuff, is just nonsensical. So on this record, Speaker of the Dead, the singer is a big fan of video games. He's a big fan of comic books. He wrote songs about Street Fighter. I can get behind that, okay? If you're a fucking idiot, if you're a fucking retarded motherfucker, and you want to write songs about Street Fighter, that's great. Write songs about Street Fighter, because everything else is stupid that you're writing.
They even made a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie about Street Fighter. So you can talk about that.
Hang on a second. So on this record, I've got it right here. He has a song called "Children of Cybertron" after Transformers.
You actually own one of their records, man.
I do, and I'll get to that. I'll get to that in a second.
This is great.
This is a song called "Demons with Ryu." Let's see, "Last Words to Rose," which is another Street Fighter reference. Anyways, bottom line. So the record right before this one, they added some other chords besides breakdowns. They actually played some melody. And this one, really, their only change up was they kind of changed up the rhythm sometimes. I like the song "Like LaMotta." It's a really short song. It's one that's a little bit more tolerable. But like Eric was pretty much talking about, the biggest like blow your fucking mind change up on this entire record, and Eric spoke about it lyrically, was the last song. And musically, it's actually a change too. It's really melodic. They actually play chords. Yeah. They don't just play open, palm muted guitar strings. They actually play chords. It's kind of got a Deftones feel to it. It's just got this kind of like, I don't know. It's actually really nice. But you put it on the track 15, the last record of the whole, and you expect me to sit through this? So here's I'm going to wrap it all up right here. You guys are familiar with the term guilty pleasure, right?
Yes.
I love heavy music in general of all shapes and sizes, and sometimes I just want to fucking put on something that's heavy as shit. I don't want to listen to 15 songs, okay? Let me just put that on the table. I don't want to listen to 15 songs. But three or four songs. If you want
to hear an LFO song, if you want to hear Abercrombie and Fitch,
exactly.
You'll listen to.
Throw it on.
What are you gonna do?
So Emmure is like that for me. If I'm like, yeah, I'm pissed off today at work, somebody just came and told me to do something stupid, I'm gonna put on an Emmure song, 3 tracks or whatever. So this CD is just basically a resubscription to that whole notion. I get 15 new songs I can listen to randomly when I'm pissed off. But listening to this record, I listened to the first 4 tracks and I turn it off, and I have to come back and listen to the next few. I can't sit through this whole record. I can't do it. But yeah, it is a bit of a guilty pleasure for me. I have to say, it's terrible. It's not good at all.
I couldn't sit through the whole Tyga album because I listen to so much rap music just all the time. That's all I listen to. And with this was different. This is so different than what I listened to. I never listened to metal.
That makes sense.
Very little rock. So this was such a different experience to me that I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I don't know the genre very well. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
It can be fun. I mean, I guess if that's, if you're looking for that aspect to it. But one last thing I want to say before I give my grade, but the whole use of the word faggot, like in the song for him, like, he's never done that in any other record. So I just feel like it makes it even worse to just throw it in on this record in no sense, just randomly do it. Have you ever met somebody that's just terrible at cussing? But they just like throw a cuss word in at like the most random times, and you're like,
it's usually somebody that doesn't do it very much.
Yeah, and that's how it was with him using the word faggot on this record. I think it was stupid. But anyways, my final grade, I have to kind of explain my grading system. If I give anything above a C, it means I'm going to come back and listen to it at some point. Anything below a C, like Macklemore, I gave it a C+. I appreciate what it's doing, but I'm not going to listen to it. I give this record a B-.
Boo!
Yeah. It has to have
everybody up and down Albany Street here. Like all of my neighbors are listening to this, man, and they're all booing too. You mean to open the window and that you hear, man? They
wow.
Hate you, Jay.
Hang on. My redeeming qualities. This Converge record, and it's very credible.
All right,
I have credibility.
All right. I'll give you that one. Hey, I remembered one good thing about this record, about this Emmure album, and it was the song "Hitomi's Shinobi." I didn't know what the fuck it was talking about.
It's where the parts are, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, Hitomi. I'm like, I don't know what this is. I was like, I can't even remember what Shinobi meant, but it meant like a ninja. So Hitomi's Shinobi. So it's like the ninja of Hitomi, which I Googled image that shit, and it is this beautiful Japanese, I guess she's a porn star, I don't know, but she is sexy, and I love her too. And just as he says in this song that he loves her, he would kill for her and like die. Probably, it's funny. He says, "I'd probably die for you," which I thought was a really hilarious lyric. I'd probably do it, I don't but I think about that too. I'm like, man, maybe, shit, I don't know. She's a very attractive woman. So.
What are you gonna do?
Just for the record, so I can maintain my heavy music credibility with Master Eric here.
No, not gonna happen.
Let me share my three of my favorite records here. Are you familiar with this record?
Botch. Oh yeah.
Botch is We Are the Romans. What about a little Poison the Well here?
Oh,
Poison the Well?
Is that weak?
It's a combo record. They re-released it the opposite of December and Tear from the Red into one record.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That's cool. And then obviously got to go with the little Comeback Kid here.
Wake the Dead, huh? Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right. You don't suck 100%, Jay. It's like 95%. Yeah. I love you, dog.
We all love each other. Anyways.
Oh yeah.
So thanks for listening to my record. I gotta pick something else, don't I? Shit.
Oh yeah, what am I listening to next week?
This is kind of an old record. Hang on, I gotta pull it up because I forgot what it's called. It actually came out in 2011. It's kind of a little bit of a throwback because I think one of the first records that we ever reviewed on our podcast was Drake. It's a little bit of a change up for me. It's The Weeknd's first record, House of Balloons. And if there's anybody out there that wants to make some babies, you better listen to this record because it's a slow jam masterpiece.
And I am staying a million miles from that record.
Slow jams? Oh, you just don't want a baby.
Oh,
but it's okay to practice, right?
First,
it's okay to practice for when the time comes.
Can I just say this?
Yes.
We may want to have Eric back on this record for the sole fact that this record is just littered with drug use. I mean, there's drug use all over this thing. The first song is called High for This.
I just read a lot about drugs, guys.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, you can be well read.
There's a song called Glass Table Girls, which is about girls that like to do cocaine. Just saying. So,
or dance on tables, perhaps, you know.
When you hear the song, you'll get it.
Okay.
Word.
But blow could mean two things in that situation. They could be a table dancer and
the lyric in the song is and we can bust out the tables, all glass, and it's 10 feet wide, but it's enough to get you 10 feet high. So
maybe on the pole.
Michael.
Yeah, I don't think so, man. I don't think that's what it means.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to this, I was doing a good job of climbing a pole and just making it.
Good job.
No, it wasn't. I didn't keep the pole still enough. Like.
Anywho,
yeah. Is any other closing thoughts, guys, or with this album, this shitty album in your eyes?
Nope, it sucks. It sucks. That's all there is to it.
Skip it. Yeah, just skip it.
Yeah.
Can we just erase the last 40 minutes?
No, there's when you reading your comments, YouTube comments.
Oh, that was hilarious.
When we do the best of in the Galaxy podcast year in review, that is definitely going to make it.
All right, cool.
Oh my gosh. I might even extract that out from this to like post on Twitter and YouTube. We'll just have to see. That made me laugh my ass off.
They're ridiculous, man. They're ridiculous. Yeah.
All right. Well, Eric, thank you so much for joining us, man. It was so good to have you.
Hey, it's always a pleasure, my man. It's a pleasure. Namaste. Namaste.
Obrigado.
But I hope it's good. And Jay, thank you as always. And next time, we're going to be hitting you guys with a technology podcast. And Eric Easy E here is going to come back with us and join us. So we'll catch you next time in the Galaxy. Thanks for listening / watching.